Hey everyone, today we're going to go over how to crochet a granny square. So a granny square is really good for beginners because you're able to crochet anything once you get started with granny squares. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what they look like when they're completed and explain to you how we'll actually get started. So this is a really good example as to what a completed granny square will look like once none of the ends are sewn in. You can see we'll still have this tail here as well. And it's a good example as well because it's very light. For beginners, I'll say this time and time again, I highly recommend using light colored yarn. So today we're going to be using this yellow, and I'm showing you with this teal color. We're starting in the middle. So we're going to start at the middle and then we're going to work in rounds. Usually with crochet projects, you're working from right to left and turning and such. Today we're going to be starting in the middle and then working in square rounds as if kind of like working around a circle with a magic circle, but a little bit different. Now there are different ways you can start your granny square. You can start with a magic circle or some other methods, but today I'm going to show you what I consider to be the easiest way. First, we're going to attach our yarn to our hook. And so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to wrap your yarn around your fingers to make an X. Flip it over and you should have two lines right here. You're going to take your hook and you're going to go under the first line and over the second one, and you're going to pull the second one from under the first. You're going to rotate your hook just like this and remove your fingers. Then you pull it tight and there you go. You've attached your yarn to your hook. I'm going to show you guys one more time just in case this is your first experience with crochet. You're going to create an X with your yarn, flip it over, under, over, and pull and turn. Once you've turned, remove your fingers, and there you have it. So what we're going to do to get started is we are going to chain 4. So we're not going to count this loop as our first chain, but what we are going to do is we are going to switch spots here and make sure that your left hand is attached to the skein, and you're going to yarn over. And to yarn over means you're going to pull the yarn over the hook. And then you're going to pull this yarn under this yarn. So watch me slowly. Pull it under. That's one chain. We're going to do it again. So you're going to yarn over, pull it under. That's 2. Yarn over for 3 and yarn over for 4. That's 4 chains. Now it looks very small, but after we keep working, it's going to build up. So what you're going to do is you're going to yarn over again, but this time instead of chaining, what you're going to do is you're going to push your hook into this first chain right here, as low as you can get it. If it's not perfectly in the first one, your granny square will still be beautiful, don't worry. You're going to push your hook in there, yarn over again after your hook has been pushed into the chain, and you're going to pull through. This time you should have 3 loops on your hook. If you're not familiar with a double crochet, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys, but we're going to double crochet out of that loop. And we're going to be creating what's called a granny cluster. A granny cluster is a group of 3 double crochets. We're going to yarn over and push through into that same loop. This whole round is going to be worked into that one loop. So whenever you're chaining, make sure you don't chain it too tight. A granny cluster is these little blocks right here. If you look closely, you'll see that it's 3 double crochets that have been chained together. After your 3rd double crochet, you should have a block like this. What we're going to do is we're going to chain 3. So that's yarning over and pulling through 3 times. Now you're going to yarn over again, and in that same loop, you're going to insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and do another double crochet. You're going to yarn over and insert your hook again and do another double crochet. We're going to go ahead and finish up this granny cluster with 3 double crochets. Every time you do a granny cluster for a basic granny square, it's going to be 3 double crochets, groups of 3s. You're going to chain 3 and do the next granny cluster. Hey guys, I just want to interject with something here. I work hard to provide you guys with high quality content to help you guys with crocheting and other forms of artwork at no cost. My videos aren't monetized. This is just a passion of mine. In return for the effort and time that I'm putting into these videos, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys would like the video and subscribe. It's completely free. You can always change your mind, and if not, that's okay too. These videos are for everyone who wants to crochet no matter what. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's get back to the video. You're going to yarn over, and into that same hole right there, you're going to insert your hook and do your next granny cluster after chaining 3. After doing your 3 double crochets, you're going to go ahead and chain 3 again. After completing this, you're going to go ahead and chain 3 again and do another granny cluster. It's important to make sure that the tail right here isn't getting caught up in your crocheting. If you want to crochet the tail to go away, you go right ahead, but I don't recommend this for beginners because it can get a little bit complicated whenever you're first starting out with granny squares. And we're going to chain 2 this time. This is the only round in which the corner will have been chained with only 2, and you're going to insert your hook somewhere along the corner here. I try and get it close to the corner as possible. You're going to yarn over and pull through. And we're going to be doing a slip stitch, and the nothing burger that slip stitches are, we're just going to continue to pull all the way through as if we're fastening off. Then you're going to chain only 1 and then double crochet into the next corner here. Then we're going to chain 3, and in that same corner we're going to do another granny cluster. And in between corners, it's important to remember that you're going to chain 1. You're not chaining in between each double crochet, but you are chaining in between each granny cluster. Then you're going to create another granny cluster in the next corner. Chain 3, do the next granny cluster in the same corner, chain 1, and then work in the next corner. And this is basically going to how you're going to be continuing around for the second row. And I'm going to go ahead and finish up this row, and I'm going to show you guys how it's going to change as we get to row 3. Alright, so this is our granny square so far. As you can see, we're getting ready to combine these two together. You're going to chain 1 and slip stitch over here to create a gap in between the granny squares. Then you're going to chain 1 and work this corner. So it's going to be different with this row and then every row after it, as your granny square gets bigger, there are going to be more gaps in between each corner. And so what you're going to do for the gaps in between is you're going to chain 1 and then work into that gap instead of the corner. This time, however, only doing 1 granny cluster. Then you're going to chain 1 and move right on ahead to the next gap. We're not going to be doing 2 with 3 chains in between them like we do for the corners. That's only so we can get this sharp look at the edge. Then we're going to work into the next one. And you're going to continue this in rounds until you've gotten the granny square to however large you want it to be. As you can see, I've crocheted a large granny square here, or you can crochet small granny squares, however big you'd like it to be. Personally, I prefer to end my granny squares on corners, but some people want to end them at the edge so there's a bit more cohesion. So in a minute, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to fasten off your granny square so you know how to finish up whenever you get there. So now that we've gone ahead and completely finished our granny square, this is how big I would like mine to be. You can crochet yours to whatever size you want. You're still going to have this bump right here. And unless you get to a super massive size where it isn't really noticeable, it's always going to be there. So the easiest way to end it is to get back to this bump. And what you're going to do is you're going to chain one, just like I did after this cluster, and you're going to kind of match it up to see where it would end with the thing. And you're going to insert your hook, yarn over, and slip stitch. After slip stitching, you're going to yarn over and fasten it off. Then we're going to go ahead and sew in our ends. So this is our finished granny square. As you can see, it's completely finished and the ends are sewn in and it looks really nice. What I love about granny squares, what I love about them, is they're very beginner friendly because it teaches you how to quickly make a textile that you can use for many different things. And a very easy project for beginners is to create a sunglasses holder. I've crocheted a few of these out of granny squares for my Depop, link in the description. And I think it's a really nice way to get new crocheters motivated to realize that they're actually having evidence of their pieces working. And I just think that's really nice. Thank you guys so much for watching. I always appreciate it when you guys get to the end of my videos, and I hope you guys have a wonderful time with this granny square tutorial, and I hope you guys show me how it goes. Have a good day, guys. Thank you.